Hello, good evening. I'm so sorry I've been having challenges with the internet. I've been online twice and I was disconnected, but I hope this time around we'll be able to pull through. So, once again, my name is Clement and I'm here in Ukraine. I want to share with you a topic that I titled Practical Ways to Discover Your Life's Purpose. Practical ways to discover your life's purpose. So I want to know if there's anybody online who can see me. Okay, I think some people are trying to join. So if you can see me, you could just say hi and let me know that you can see me. I'm gonna wait for you. Okay, I can see some people join. And Chidiebere Joseph Kano, good evening, you're welcome. Umfonobong Eton, good evening, you're welcome. I'm glad to have you here. And this evening we're looking at a very interesting topic, a topic I think that everybody should listen to, because it cuts across all race and all religion. It cuts across everybody on earth. I think it's a topic that you would like your friends to listen to. So I'm going to beg you, I'm going to plead with you to help me share the video, to invite your friends and get more people to come listen, because I believe that tonight's topic is going to be a blessing. Once again, it is titled Practical Ways to Discover Your Life's Purpose. Practical ways to discover your life's purpose. So just help me share the video and invite your friends. And I want to be sure that you can hear me, because sometimes the internet disturbs and then I will be talking and you won't have to hear me. So if you can hear me, I want you to just write and say I can hear you, or just say hi for me to know that you can hear me. Okay? So we are looking at practical ways to discover your life's purpose. And I'm going to give you 10 ways, 10 practical ways to discover your life's purpose. Mrs. Chidima Eze, good evening. I'm glad to have you join us tonight. You're welcome. And we are discussing a topic titled Practical Ways to Discover Your Life's Purpose. I mean, I can almost tell you that I would be right to say that the topic of purpose has not been so much talked about. You hardly hear people talk about how to discover your life's purpose. They don't teach it in schools, and churches may just scratch the surface. They don't go in detail to tell you how you could find your life's purpose. That is why I think that tonight's topic will be very important for every one of us. I'm going to be giving you secrets and practical ways on how you can discover your life's purpose. Edoji Prince Tejiri, you are welcome. I'm glad to have you. So please, as you're coming in, if you wouldn't mind, you could help us share the video, and so that your friends can come in and join us too. Or you could just click the likes and the love buttons so that people would see the video. Okay? So what are we talking about tonight? Practical ways to discover your life's purpose. Now, before I give you the practical ways to discover your life's purpose, I want to say that over 90% of people on earth today do not know their purpose. They do not know why they exist. Over 90% of people, I'm going to say that again, over 90% of people that are on earth today do not know why they exist. Where they can tell you with absolute certainty what their purpose is in life. Good evening, Daniel Atenga. I'm glad to have you. Welcome. Over 90% of people can't tell you why they live. They can't tell you why they exist. Now, if what I said is true, it means that we are in a serious trouble. Our world is in trouble. Why? because we will only have a chaotic world if people do not know why they exist. So if you're wondering why our world is as chaotic as it is, the answer is not far-fetched. It's simply because people do not know why they exist. Every calamity happening on earth today is happening only because over 90% of people do not know why they exist. That is why I'm going to be telling you tonight why you exist and how to discover your purpose. Pastor Faith Williams, you're welcome. Emmanuel Alpha, you're welcome. God bless you. So, we are looking at practical ways to discover your life's purpose. And I feel like pleading with you to invite your friend, because this topic we're talking about tonight is very important. Because I have seen people who are over 50, 60 years on earth, and they cannot tell you, with certainty why they exist. I mean, they've stayed 50, 60 years on earth, and if you ask them, what is your purpose? Why are you on earth? They can't tell you. That is why our world is in chaos, because people do not know why they exist. Now, I'm going to start by defining the word purpose. What is purpose? Now, purpose is simply the essence of a thing. Purpose is simply the reason why a thing exists. Purpose is the reason, the why, the because of a thing. So, anything that exists today is existing only because that thing has a purpose. Everything that exists today exists only because of its purpose. So purpose is the essence of a thing. Purpose is the reason why a thing exists. Now, if purpose is the reason why a thing exists, it means that everything in existence has got purpose. There is nothing in existence that does not have a purpose. I mean, this is a book. This book has a purpose. This is a phone. This phone has a purpose. This is a pen. This pen has a purpose. The chair you are sitting on has a purpose. The bed you are lying on has a purpose. The shirt I'm wearing has a purpose. Everything that exists has a purpose. There is nothing that exists on earth that does not have a purpose. That is why I said that purpose is the essence or the reason for which a thing is created. Purpose is the reason why a thing exists. Now that means that you and I are in existence only because we have purpose. If you do not have a purpose, if you do not have an essence, you wouldn't be alive today. You wouldn't be existing today. So you are only in existence because of your purpose. Now I'm going to ask you a question. If you are holding a phone in your hand, what is the essence of the phone? Why do we have a phone? You have a phone because you need to make calls with it. So the purpose of a phone, the primary purpose of a phone, is to make call. Now you could chat with your phone, you could do other things with your phone, but the primary essence of a phone is for communication. If you have a chair in your house, the only reason why you have a chair is because you need to sit on something. So the chair is meant for sitting. Clothes are meant for covering. Pen or pencil is meant for writing. So everything that exists has a purpose. Now, but I'm going to ask you a question. What is your purpose? I know you know the purpose of a phone. I know you know the purpose of a shirt. I know you know the purpose of a laptop. But what is your own purpose? Why are you in existence? Why do you exist? Until you can tell why you exist, you will be a wanderer on earth, because you don't know exactly why you exist. You would dabble into a lot of things. You would try a lot of things because you do not know why you exist. And that is why I said our world is in chaos today, because over 90% of people do not know why they exist. That is why I'm coming tonight with this topic to tell you your purpose and how to discover it. Now, if purpose is the essence of a thing, I want to ask you a question. The iPad you are holding, or the iPhone you are holding, the person who manufactured that iPhone, iPad, first of all, conceived a purpose for that phone. First of all, made up his mind what that phone will be used for before he manufactured the phone, before the phone was produced. In other words, purpose precedes creation. Purpose comes before production. Purpose comes before creation. Everything that exists has a purpose, but before that thing comes into existence, that thing already had a purpose. That is why I can say to you that you have a purpose, and your purpose existed before you existed. Why? Because before Steve Jobs made the iPhone, he already had a purpose for that iPhone. And so that purpose came first before the iPhone was made. In fact, it is the purpose of that iPhone that dictated to him, that told him how the iPhone should look like. Now, what that means is that it is your purpose that dictates how you should look like. It is your purpose that dictates whether or not you should be existing. So if you are in existence today, I want to convince you that you have a purpose. Because I have heard people say that they don't think they have any purpose. Because they do not know why they exist, they just assume that there's no purpose. They don't think that they should even be existing at all. But I want to say to you that for you to be in existence is a proof that you have a purpose. Because I have said that everything that exists only because it has a purpose. Now, if your purpose is the reason why you exist, and then you live your whole life for 50, 60 or 70 years and did not do that for which you were created, and did not fulfill that purpose for which you were made, you would have been a failure. It doesn't matter whether you have houses or cars or you have money. If you do not discover why you exist and fulfill it, you would have lived a failed life. You would be called a failure because you did not fulfill the essence for which you are in existence. That is why it is important for everybody to discover why they exist. Because you are only a successful person when you discover your purpose and fulfill it. A man once said that the primary assignment of every man is to discover his purpose and fulfill it. So your primary assignment on earth is to discover your purpose and then fulfill it. If you fail to discover your purpose and fulfill it, then you are a failure. Now, that is why I have come to tell you tonight to give you practical ways on how you can discover your purpose. And I'm going to give you 10 practical ways on how you can discover your purpose. Now, why do I need to discover my purpose? Why do you need to discover your purpose? It is because if you do not fulfill your purpose, you are as good as a failure. It could be assumed that you never existed at all if you do not fulfill your purpose. Now let me give you an example. If you sent a child to go to the market to buy you bread, and then that child is supposed to receive a reward for buying that bread, and then the child went to the market, bought butter, bought chicken, bought tomato, bought egg. Even if that child came back with a car, the child went there and bought a car, and the child returns to you without buying the bread you asked him to buy, such a child has fulfilled the purpose for which you sent him to the market? Of course no. Even if he buys every other thing but refuses to buy that bread that you ask him to go buy, that is a failed mission. And for such a child, if you were to reward him with $1,000, you would not do that, because he didn't buy what you asked him to go and buy. Now that is how we are. We are here on earth because we were sent here on a mission. We were sent here to fulfill a purpose, and we are busy accumulating every other thing. We are busy getting every other thing except our purpose. We are busy doing every other thing except what we are called to do, except what we are born to do, except what we are created to do. That is why I said that if you live your life without fulfilling your purpose, there is no reward for you. You would have lived a failed life. I give you one more example. If you were running 1,500 meters race and you were supposed to be on lane 6 and some other person was in lane 5 and lane 4, at the end of that race, if you who was supposed to be on lane 6, if you left lane 6 and moved into lane 5, even if you were the first person to reach the finish line, even if you got to the finish line first, just because you left your lane and moved to lane 5 instead of remaining on lane 6, you'll be disqualified. At the end of that race, you will be disqualified because you left your lane. That is how life is. If you do not discover your purpose, you will run on the wrong lane. And you will think you are doing very well. But just because you left your lane, you'll be disqualified in the end. Afolabi Victor, you are welcome. God bless you. Adams Victor, God bless you. You are welcome. Good evening. And Dr. Machi DK, God bless you. You are welcome. So tonight we are talking about practical ways to discover your purpose. And I have said that purpose is the only reason why you exist. So if you do everything else but doesn't do that for which you exist, you are a failure. You are just like the man who left his lane and moved to a different lane. Even if you reach the finish line first, there will be no reward for you. If they were to give a gold medal to the race, it will not be given to you, even though you got to the finish line first. Why? Because you left the lane. Now, I see many people on earth today, they have left their lanes. So many people are living their lives on the wrong lane. Why? Because they do not know the right lane. And that is because they do not know their purpose. And if you do not know your purpose, I'm sorry to announce to you, you are wasting your life. A life without a fulfilled purpose is a wasted life. Dr. Miles Monroe once said that the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but the life without a purpose. Now, but I think that the greatest tragedy in life is not just the life without a purpose, because I said that everybody has a purpose. The greatest tragedy in life is for you not to discover your purpose and fulfill it. You already have a purpose. That is why you exist. But you will be living a life of tragedy if you do not discover your purpose and fulfill it. So purpose is the primary essence for your being. Your purpose is more important than anything else. Your purpose is more important than cars. It is more important than money. It is more important than children. It is more important than wives and husbands. Your purpose is the primary reason why you exist. And until you fulfill your purpose, I'm sorry to say that you are wasting your life. That is why our world is in chaos today. I'm going to tell you how to discover your purpose. Now, having said that purpose is the reason why you exist, and that if you don't fulfill your purpose, there will be no reward for you in the long run, because you have not done what you were sent to earth to do. You will not be rewarded because you have left your lane and you are running on a wrong lane. So the question is, if my purpose is the reason why I exist, how can I discover it? That is where the problem is. You know, in most churches, if they manage to talk about purpose at all, they don't tell you exactly how to discover your purpose. Even motivational speakers do not tell you exactly. They don't give you practical ways on how you can discover your purpose. Everybody keeps saying that you have a purpose, but only few persons could tell you how to discover your purpose. That is why I came to you tonight, to tell you how you can discover your purpose. Practical ways to discover your purpose. And I'm going to give you 10 ways, if you will stay with me. 10 practical ways to discover your purpose. But before I start telling you how to discover your purpose, could you please be kind enough to help me share this video and invite your friends? Could you please help me share the video and invite your friends? And if you have any comments or questions, do well to write them. Okay? Write them on the comment box. I will read your comments. And if you have any contributions, you could write them there. But I'm going to give you 10 practical ways on how you could discover your purpose. Now, meanwhile, Mrs. Rhoda, you are welcome. I can see your question. Are we not meant to be doing something first before purpose discovery? Okay? Are we not meant to be doing something first before purpose discovery? How do you help a baby Christian start purpose discovery? Nice question. Good question. God bless you, Rhoda. Now, I love that question, and that is why I'm here tonight. Are we not meant to be doing something first before purpose discovery? Now, I'm going to answer that question. Now, by the end of this video, you would have gotten the answer to your question. Right? So, I'm not going to be in a hurry to answer you. You just listen to what we're going to be discussing tonight, and you will get the answer to your question. Are we not supposed to be doing something before we discover purpose? Now, before I answer that question, do you know that the average person will live for, say, 70-60 years? 70-60 years. Or let's say 80. Now, if I'm to live for 80 years, and I'm 40 years old, and I have not discovered why I'm in existence, half of my life is gone already, and I do not know why I exist. Or if I were to live for 60 years, and I'm 30 years old, half of my life is gone already, and I still have not discovered why I exist. I'm saying that because I want to answer your question. Okay, I'm going to answer it. So, what are the ways to discover your purpose? 10 ways to discover your purpose. But I'm going to start by saying, first of all, that your purpose is not selfish. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Your purpose is not selfish. Your purpose is not about you. I don't know if you heard that. Your purpose is not about you. And your purpose is not because of you. I'm going to explain that. Now today we have people who are engineers, people who are doctors, people who are lawyers, accountants, politicians. We have a lot of people doing different things on earth, having different certificates, having different career in life. And we are deceived into thinking that career is the same thing as purpose. I'm going to make bold to say tonight that your career is not necessarily your purpose. It is a bit shaky. I hope you can still hear me. I'm going to tell you why your purpose is not your career. And I'm saying this because I just said something, and what I said is that your purpose is not about you. Your purpose is selfish. It's not because of you. But you and I can attest to the fact that most people who are engineers, or maybe doctors, lawyers, politicians, you think they're because of you? The reason why everybody wants to become a medical doctor, one of the primary reasons is because they want to have a good life. They want to have a lot of money because they think medicine is a lucrative career. So the drive is not because they discover that that is their purpose. They are only doing that course or studying that career just because of what they want to get for themselves. They want to have a good life. They want to have money. They want to have cars. They want to have houses. Right? But I'm saying to you today that your purpose is not about you. It is not selfish. It is not about what you can get for yourself. Your purpose is about others. Your purpose will always involve other people. Your purpose will always involve solving a problem. So the first thing you need to know about your purpose is that your purpose must involve solving a problem. Your purpose must involve other people. It is not about what you can get for yourself. So the first thing I want you to know today is that your purpose is not selfish. It's not about you. So if you are in a career or you are doing anything just because of what you will get for it, I'm sorry to say that is not your purpose. That may be your career, what you want to do, to have money, to have cars, but I'm saying to you that your purpose is not about you. I'm going to explain that further. Now, first, practical ways to discover your purpose. That is the topic for today. Practical ways to discover your purpose. Number one practical ways to discover your purpose. I'm going to explain it before I say it. Let's assume that this is a phone, right? This is a phone. Now, this phone, if you can look at it very well, is an old phone, and it's a Nokia phone, right? It's a Nokia phone. Now, if you want to know what each of these keys are used for, or if you have a problem with your phone, your iPhone, and you don't know what a particular key or a particular feature in that phone is used for, what do? If you want to know what that phone is used for, or what a key, a button is used for in that phone, you need to go to the manufacturer of the phone, because the manufacturer knows everything about the phone. It will be foolishness for me to take this phone to a medical doctor to ask the doctor what a button or what one of the keys is used for. Why? Because this phone was not made by a doctor. This is Nokia. So if I want to know what this phone should be used for, or what any key should be used for on this phone, I simply go to the producer, to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer will tell me what each part of the phone is used for. So the first thing you do to discover the purpose of a thing is to go to the manufacturer of that thing. And you and I, if we must discover our purpose, we must go back to our manufacturer. We must go back to our producer. We must go back to our creator. Because every potter knows the essence of the clay that he's molding. Every producer knows why he's producing what he's producing. That is why the best way, or the first way, to discover your purpose is to go back to your manufacturer and your creator. Okay, that's one. But can I say to you that you and I have been created by God? So what I'm simply saying is that to know your purpose, you have to go back to God, because he created you. But permit me to say that of the 10 things I'm going to give you today, going back to your creator is the most difficult one to do. I'm going to tell you why it is the most difficult. Because you and I know that if you go back to God now and ask him to tell you why you exist, you could fast and pray for 2 weeks or even 1 month and you may not hear anything. God may not tell you, or he may tell you, you may not hear, or you may not understand what he's saying. So that is just one. But what if I don't believe in God? What if I'm an atheist? I don't believe there is God. It simply means that I can't go and ask God what my purpose is. And if God keeps telling everybody their purpose, then it means that everybody who is a Christian or who believes in God should have known his or her purpose by now. But I can tell you the truth, that even Christians cannot tell you with certainty why they exist. Is it because God doesn't want to tell them? Not at all. God wants to tell them. Just the way God spoke concerning Jeremiah. Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you, and I ordained you a prophet to the nations. So for Jeremiah, God had to tell him what his purpose was. Right? Only very few persons hear from God like that. Only a very small percentage of people could hear from God like that. So you may not hear a voice, you may not have a dream, you may not see any vision, but you can still discover your purpose. Because there are 9 other ways God could speak to you without you hearing a loud voice, or without you having a dream. So the first way to discover your purpose is to go to God to tell you your purpose. That is one. But I have said that that is the most difficult one, because God doesn't just talk to everybody every day, or he talks to people but people do not understand. So what is the second way to discover your purpose? I I can't see your comment. I want to be sure that you are still hearing what I'm saying. If you can still hear me, please say I can hear you. Just write on the comment box that you can hear me. If you can still hear me, so that I know that you can hear me. Okay? So the second way to discover your purpose is this. Now, I want to use this phone again. Everything that this phone needs to fulfill its purpose is inside the phone. Everything the phone needs to fulfill its purpose is inside the phone. This phone is customized, it's packaged to fulfill its purpose. Every key, every feature that is needed by this phone to fulfill its purpose is already inside the phone. So the second way to discover your purpose is to look inward. I'm simply trying to say that your purpose is inside you. Your purpose is within you. Your purpose is not outside of you. Most people are looking everywhere. Some people are going to crusades and going to listen to motivational speakers to find their purpose. But I'm saying to you today that your purpose is inside of you. Because the iPhone you are holding, everything needed for that iPhone to fulfill its purpose is inside the iPhone. It is not outside. That is why the second way to discover your purpose is to look inside. And when you look inside, what will you see? What is inside of you? You have natural abilities. You have talents. You have gifts. You have been endowed with a lot of gifts and talents and natural abilities. So if you want to discover your purpose, I want to encourage you to look within. Your purpose is inside of you. Thank you so much for sharing the video. Omonike, God bless you. So look inside of you and you will find you will discover your purpose. It's already there. Because I told you that even before you already had a purpose. So to discover that purpose, you have to look inside. You have to look inward. It is not outside. It is inside of you. My name is Clement. Somebody is asking for my name. Okay, God bless you. So I want you to look inward. If you look inward, you will find out that you have talents, that you have abilities, you have things that you are naturally good at, things that you don't struggle to do. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it that you have this ability to do this particular thing, whereas some other people do not have that ability? Have you ever asked yourself why you are so gifted in this particular field or in this particular thing? Now that gift and that ability was put there by God to help you discover your purpose. So I told you that God may not speak to you, you may not hear his voice like Jeremiah did. But if you could look inward, you will find your abilities, you will find your talents, you will find your gifts. Your purpose is not far from that thing that you are geared for. Your purpose is not far from that thing that you have natural ability to do. That thing you find easy to do, your purpose is not far from there. That is why I said the second way to discover your purpose is to look inward and look at your natural abilities and your gifts. I want to ask you a question. Have you ever heard of a man called Michelangelo? Michelangelo. Have you heard of Michelangelo before? Now, Michelangelo was an artist, a painter. Michelangelo was one of the greatest artists that ever existed. One of the greatest painters that ever existed. But do you know that Michelangelo, as he was growing up as a child, he realized that he was talented with work. And so because he was talented with artwork, he gave all his time and all his energy to perfecting how to draw and how to paint. And do you know that Michelangelo became one of the greatest painter and artists that ever existed? How? Because he was talented. Do you know today that we live in a world where there are people who have special gifts and talents, but they do not use their gifts and talents? People have been gifted, but they do not pay attention to their talent and their gifts. And you know why they don't pay attention to their talent and their gifts? Because their father or their parents are going to study medicine, or go and study engineering, or go and study law. Because law is lucrative. Medicine is a lucrative career, so go and study medicine. But I just told you that no matter what career you study on earth, if you do not fulfill your purpose, you are a failure. That is why everybody must go back and look inward. Your purpose is not far from your talent and your giftings. Michelangelo became a great man in history just because of his talents. That is why you must look inward and discover your talents. Don't take your talent for granted. Don't take your giftings for granted. Don't take your natural abilities for granted. So the second way to discover your purpose is to look inward, and you will find your talents and your gifts. I hope that is clear. The third way to discover your purpose. Your purpose is that thing that you have so much passion for. That thing that you are so passionate about. That thing that you always want to do. Your purpose is not far from it. Gift blessing, Amos. God bless you. Thank you for me. The third way to discover your purpose is to look inward and find your passion. That thing that you are so passionate about. You know, some of you don't even know what you are passionate about because you have not given it a thought. You have not paid attention to your passions. That thing that you are so passionate about, your purpose is not far from it. That thing that you always want to do, that thing that you could sacrifice every other thing for to do, your purpose is not far from that thing. So look inward again. What is your drive? What do you have zeal and passion for? Your purpose is not far from that thing. But permit me to say quickly that it is not just passion for anything, but passion to make the world a better place, but passion to bring a solution to the problem that exists in the world, passion to be a blessing to the next person. Because I told you that your purpose is not selfish, it's not about you. So you can't tell me that you have passion to become a millionaire or passion to have 20 cars. That is not your purpose. That is selfishness. I'm sorry, the network is busy and it's shaky, but I pray we're able to connect back. Okay, so the third way to discover your purpose is to find your purpose. Anybody who can hear me, please, you could type on the comment box the point I'm listing. The first point I said is that to discover your purpose, you ask your manufacturer. You ask. Second thing you need to do to discover your purpose is to look word, because your purpose can be found in your natural abilities and your gifts and your talents. Okay, so if you could help me just list them there, I will appreciate if you can hear me. And then I said the third thing you need to discover your purpose is to look at your passion, what you are passionate about. And when I say passion, I mean passion to solve the problem in the world, passion to help the next person, passion to make the world a better place. That drive that makes you want to be a blessing to the next person, that drive, that passion, that zeal that makes you want to make the world a better place or to solve a problem, your purpose is not far from that passion. So that is the third thing that you need to know if you want to discover your purpose. Now, have you ever heard of a man by the name Michael Jordan? Have you heard of Michael Jordan before? Michael Jordan is one of the greatest basketballers that ever existed. Now, when he was younger, he had so much passion, so much love. He wanted to become a basketballer, right? Now, that passion made him to go and get enrolled in a basketball team and started building, started training and making himself better. And if you know about Michael Jordan became one of the best basketballers in history. And you find out in the that most of the money or the wealth that he also gave to charity to help other people. So it is not just to have a passion to become something, but that passion must be in line with bringing a solution to the problems of the world, with bringing a solution or making the world a better place. Okay, so number 4, how to discover your purpose. Your purpose is where your love and your pain intersect. Your purpose is where your love and your pain intersect. Where your love and your anger intersect. Now I'm going to explain that to you. What do I mean by your love and your pain intersecting? Anything that you love so much, that you have so much love for, and that thing is being oppressed, or that thing is in a disadvantaged position, or that thing is not the way you want it to be, that thing that you have love for, and you are pained, you are angry that that thing is not the way it should be, your purpose is not far from that thing. So where your love and your pain intersect, your purpose is around that place. Let me explain to you so you understand. Let's assume that you love children. You have so much love for children. And then you live in a neighborhood where you see children are being molested every day. Children are being molested, abused every day. Because you love children, you will be angry, you will be pained, you will be frustrated that they are being molested. And you are moved to do something to stop that molestation. So anywhere your love and your pain intersect, your purpose is not far from it. I give you an example. heard of a lady called Malala? There is a young girl by the name Malala in Pakistan. Have you heard of Malala before? Now, Malala, a very young girl who at the age of 11 discovered that what she loved so much was being oppressed. What she loved so much was being trampled on. What she loved so much was being abused. And she was angry. Now, what is it that she loved so much? Malala was a Pakistani girl, and in Pakistan there is a terrorist group by the name Taliban. Now, the Taliban put a threat and said that no female child is allowed to go to school. No female child is permitted to go to school in Pakistan. Now, the Taliban brought up threat that any female child who is caught going to school will be killed. Now, when they did that, everybody kept quiet. Old men, women, politicians, they all kept quiet. But a little girl by the name Malala, was angry. She was pained. She felt frustrated that how dare the Taliban take away the right to education, because she loves the people of Pakistan and because she loves education. She had to do something to put an end to that problem. Now, what did she do? Malala began to protest against the Taliban. How did she do that? She went to open a blog and she began to write. She began calling the whole world to come and see what is happening in Pakistan. She drew the attention of the international community to Pakistan to come and see how female children are being deprived their right to education. Now, she did that, the world now got to know what was happening in Pakistan. And Malala was in trouble. Why was she in trouble? Because she was protesting against what the Taliban had said. And do you know, at the time the Taliban shot her, she was shot in the head. But thankfully she didn't die. But do you know that Malala succeeded? A little girl from the age of 11, a little girl was able to stop injustice. She was able to stop the deprivation to the education. Why? Because the international community came and the was drawn to Pakistan, and that problem was solved. Why? Because she was pained and she was angry. So her pain. So where your pain intersects is not far from it. Today, Malala is a figure. I think now she should be maybe about 19 or maybe 20 years old. She was given an award. The whole world is celebrating Malala today. Why? Because her love and her pain intersected. And she was moved to solve a problem. She was moved to make the world a better place. That is why I said your purpose is not selfish, it is about you. She risked her life to solve that problem solved. But that was only because her love and her pain intersected. So look at, you will notice that there are things that are happening that you don't like, things that you love so much, but these things are not the way they should be, and you're moved to do something. That's where you feel a deep love and you are pained by something. Your purpose is not far from that thing. Now let me give you another example. Have you heard of Mary Slessor? If you are a Nigerian, I'm sure you would have heard of Mary Slessor. In primary school, you would have been taught about Mary Slessor. Now, Mary Slessor was an English missionary who came to Nigeria to stop the killing of twins. Mary Slessor left England, came to Nigeria as a missionary, and saw how twins were being killed because people believed that twins were abnormal children, that twins were from the spirit world, and so children were being killed just because they were twins. But Mary Slessor, because of her love for children, because of her love for humanity, to remain in Nigeria, in Calabar. She decided to remain where mosquitoes will bite her. She decided to remain in the worst part, in the bush, in Africa, in a place that is not developed. She left England. She left the comfort of England and refused to go back there because there was a problem in Calabar, because there was a problem in Nigeria, and she was moved to solve that problem. She sacrificed her life to make sure that the people of Calabar stopped the killing of twins. She made sure that they were not being killed anymore. That was her purpose, because her love and her pain intersected. She couldn't watch these ignorant people just kill children. She was angry and she was pained. And because of her love for life and her love for humanity, she decided to remain in Africa, to remain in Nigeria, just to solve that problem. That is why I said that your purpose involves solving a problem. That is why I said your purpose is not selfish. Your purpose is where your love and your pain intersect. So look around you. What is it that you love so much? What problem do you see that you have a love to solve? Not far. I think that's number 4. I don't know if you can still hear me. I'm being notified that the internet is really poor. You know, that you can hardly hear me. So I'm afraid I may need to leave you with just these 4 points. And then when I'm able to get a better network, maybe tomorrow or later in the night, I will give you 6 other practical ways to discover your purpose. So before I go today, the first way is to ask your producer. The second way to discover your purpose is to look within you and find your talents and your natural abilities. The third way is to look at your passion. What are you passionate about? Where do you find passion to make the world a better place? Where do you find passion to solve a problem? And then number 4, your purpose is where your love and your pain intersect. I'm glad and I appreciate the fact that every one of you came to join me today. God bless you for listening. I do hope that we'll have a better network, and then I will come back again to give you the remaining 6 points, 6 practical ways to discover your purpose. God bless you and do have a lovely evening. Thank you so much.